guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been super hot here, and so we've been kind of like cleaning up, like kind of organizing and, throwing some stuff out. Because, you gotta go through stuff every once in a while because you get too much and it gets kind of crowded and, you just gotta get rid of some things. But anyways, so today I am going to read you a book, but this is a different book. This book has, it talks about different places, like the Arctic and the desert, and, like the rainforest, different places like that. And this book talks about animals, like some of the animals that you may see in those places. So, this is what we call it's the Lego, but it's Lego Big Book of Animals. And so we get to go on an adventure to different places. And today, well, really all this week, since it's been as hot as if we were in the desert, I decided that I would go to the desert chapter and read to you about the desert. So we got our Lego characters in here, our explorers. They're exploring the desert, and this is what they say. I say, these sandy-colored critters are tricky to spot in the desert. I'm glad I have my trusty binoculars. We're having a bit of a hot spell, aren't we? Some deserts are hot in the summer and extremely cold during the winter. This is their conversation that they're all having. And it says, phew, it's hot in the desert. There is little or no rain, so plants can't grow easily. Bunch of sand. That's all the desert is. Drinking water is difficult to find. There's no water, so how are you going to get water? The ground may be covered in sand or dry rock. Desert animals have some very clever ways to survive. From tails that shade to big ears that cool, find out how these creatures beat the heat. Look at him, he's got some big old ears. Ain't he cute? He's adorable. But with any wild animal, we don't mess with wild animals. Okay. So the first animal that I'm going to read out of the desert section is the camel. Have you ever seen a picture of a camel or seen a camel in real life? This is what a camel looks like. It's got the hump on its back. That's a camel. You can ride them, and they can last in the desert for a couple of days without any water. So it says, this is what it says about the camel. A sandstorm is coming, but the camel will be okay. A sandstorm is just a big storm that comes across, and it's nothing but sand. It's like a bunch of wind, and there's a bunch of sand in it, and it's messy. And it says, but the camel will be okay. It closes its nostrils, its nose, and its lips, so it closes its lips really tight, so that sand cannot get in. So it closes everything off, so sand can't get in it. Its wide hooves let it cross the sand without sinking. It's got big hooves. Big hooves. Here's our wild fact. If a camel is thirsty, it could drink a full bath, like a bathtub, of water in 10 minutes. Can you imagine trying to drink a whole bathtub of water in 10 minutes? That's a lot of water. Camels have 2 rows of eyelashes to keep sand out. Achoo! Can you imagine? This is your eyelash? Can you imagine having one and then another one? Have 2 that's right on top of each other? Wouldn't that be weird? You have one on top and you have these down below, but just imagine if you had one on top of the other. That's a lot. That's a lot to be caring for. Here's some mini facts about the camels. The type of animal it is a mammal. Its food, plants, even the thorny ones, like a cactus? That seems weird. Sound, it can growl, gurgle, or hum. The baby name, when it has a little baby camel, is called a calf. The group name, if it was in a group, is a herd of camels. It would be a herd. A camel's hump is like a storage jar. Can you imagine it's like its hump being a giant jar? You know, like a jar like you get pickles out of, or just like a giant jar. Just imagine that. It is filled with fat. When there is no food around, the camel's body uses its hump fat to keep it going. So it's kind of like food storage. If you think about it that way, under its hump, it's like food storage. So if it gets hungry, all that just gets burned off in its hump. I wonder if all of its storage runs out if the hump goes flat. Wouldn't that look weird on a camel? Asian camels have 2 humps, while Arabian ones have just one. One lump or two? Can you imagine the different camels having two different, like one has one and the other one has two? Wouldn't that be weird? Let's see if we can read about another animal in the desert. So again, that was the camel. Let's see what our next animal in the desert is. Let's find us one more. Ooh, this one looks scary. Our next one is we're gonna call this a bug more than anything because these things scare me. But anyways, it's a scorpion. The afternoon is the hottest time of the day in the desert. A scorpion shelters in a burrow, but at night it scuttles out and goes on the hunt. Can you imagine this coming out? Just coming out and going on the hunt? As long as it ain't hunting for me, I don't care. It can go hunt for everything else. The sting on its tail is held high over its back. So it's got like this little stinger thing, like kind of like a bee does. Think of it as that way, like it has a stinger and it comes up and it's up high. It is looking for a juicy bug to catch. It likes to eat bugs. When it finds a bug, the tail curves forward like this in a split second, stinging its prey. So it like basically comes down, kind of like when a bee comes and stings you. Well, its tail goes this way, comes over, and stings what it's trying to get. It's kind of like, I don't really have a description for that, but it's like I don't really know. But it comes over and it grabs it. Let's see, stinging its prey. Lunch. So it got it something to eat. The Lego man down below, he says, build it. He says the knight wants to escape the scuttling scorpions. Imagine trying to escape from the scorpions. Build a desert castle with high walls and tall towers to keep the crazy critters away. Can you imagine? What if you built a giant sand castle, like a giant one, to keep all the scorpions out? Do you think they could still get in? Do you think they could get into your sand castle? Imagine trying to build to keep all of them out. That'd be a lot of building. The knight says, I'm copying the scorpion. It has a hard shell, like armor. Have you ever seen a knight in armor? That protects it from the strong sun and sandy winds. So it's hard, kind of like armor. See our Lego knight? Lego knight! Scorpions have 8 legs. So they have 8 legs and are related to spiders. But they still eat them. Ugh. She's not too happy about that. She's not too happy about that. You see her? She said she's not happy. Some mini facts about the scorpions. The type is an arachnid. Food, they eat insects, lizards, snakes, and rodents. The sound, they don't make any sounds. They're just a bug. The baby name, baby scorpion. Group name, a nest of scorpions. Kind of like a net, like a bird nest, like that kind of nest. Nest of scorpions is what they're called. So instead of being a herd like the camels were, scorpions are called a nest. And then there's a cute little comic strip over to the side, and it's two Lego men talking, and it says, I don't know why I agreed to this night trip. What if I stand on a scorpion? The other guy says, some scorpions glow under a special light. You just need this flashlight. So, can you imagine scorpions glowing? Whoa, they are everywhere. Why do they glow? The other guy says, no one knows. Perhaps they are glowing with happiness. The ones with smaller claws have a worse sting and a tail. This critter is super deadly. The other guy says, yikes, enough info. I think I preferred being left in the dark. See the little comic strip? If I can get it to show up. Look at it. So they found scorpions, and that guy would rather be in the dark than see all the glowing scorpions. Do you blame him? Can you imagine being in the dark desert, and then all of a sudden you point a flashlight, and there's all these scorpions everywhere, and they're all glowing? That would be scary. Well, that is all for today, and we were in the desert section, and we read about two animals, the camel and the scorpion. And that's all I got for today, guys. I just kind of wanted to give you a little Fact Friday instead of a Fun Friday this time. And as always, I'm proud of you guys. Bye!